Hello, welcome to Sisterhood Community Podcast. Today is a little different because I'm not going to be going into the solar plexus like I had mentioned previously. I'll do that maybe the next episode or the episode after that. Who knows? I like structure, but at the same time, things change, and sometimes you just gotta do what you feel called to do in the moment. So yeah, I was just reflecting on like my experience, and through anxiety, panic attacks, depression, I've had a seizure a few times because of what I was going through mentally. So I just want to remind you that if you are experiencing those things, that you are great as you are. All right? The biggest thing that got me through those moments was telling myself that this is temporary. This feeling is temporary. I will get through this. Absolutely knowing that you are going to get through that allows you space to surrender to it and get through it more gracefully. Because there's this knowing that, this isn't who you are. It may be a part of your experience, but in reality, the emotions, they're not who you are. They are literally energy trying to move through you. And the more that we begin to recognize that while we're experiencing something, the less we attach ourselves to the emotion and make it our identity. Because what I've realized being around people and through my own experience, we naturally have been like programmed, to identify with our pain, to make our pain our identity. When you look at the news, the stuff they put out there, even just I realized celebrating certain holidays. It's not about making an identity, but there's like this celebration. And I know it's like a remembrance, but at the same time, it's like, for me, I'm like, why are we keep celebrating like something traumatic? You know what I'm saying? It's like the reminder of what we were experiencing during that time. And also, I feel like the people that were in the experience, like when I just mentioned, like for example, like 9/11, it's like can be re-traumatizing, if they haven't processed it. So it was just a little rant. But anyways, I just wanted to remind you that you are not your pain. You are not your past experiences. You are the person experiencing them, and you can rise from those experiences and the emotions that you may be currently experiencing. That was the big message I wanted to share. Just like affirming to yourself that you are perfect as you are. You are made in the image of the divine. You come from God creation or source, just like nature, birds, animals of all kinds, bugs, grass, like literally everything. You are a part of that, and it's beautiful. We just kind of been sold the opposite, that we're literally just these physical beings and everything's physical, and what's happened is the spiritual has been taken away from that. So we don't feel connected with ourselves. We don't feel connected with another person, with life. And the more that we begin to acknowledge our childhood experiences, what we did and did not receive, as well as the pain and wounding in our adult experiences, because they all tie into that. The boundaries that you didn't learn, that's why you put yourself in situations that were harmful. The codependency you've had because maybe you didn't have a parent emotionally present or physically present. Maybe you were abused, neglected, abused verbally, emotionally, physically. So now you have this codependency in relationships. The reality is we all want to feel loved, but what we don't realize is that we are love. We're just returning and remembering that, because just as children come into the world pure and of love, we too were that. We've just been in these systems in school and all this programming that has been like, what's the word? It's just all this programming. We've taken on these illusions of like, this is how life is. This is life. And there's nothing beyond this. No. Okay? Like I said, when we identify with pain, we're not able to express the love within us as easily. So the more you heal through those childhood experiences and those adult experiences, you can begin to feel that light feeling again. That love for yourself, for others, for life, the excitement, the curiosity, the adventurous aspects of who you are and who you've always been. It's just been suppressed for so long. Your personality will begin to show its way, because over time you'll gain the courage to express yourself freely in environments where you otherwise would have shut yourself down. That inner voice would have came up and you'd been like, nah, I don't need to say that, I may be judged, they may not laugh, like whatever it is. So there's a big lack of confidence in our voice when we've been told very young that our voice doesn't matter. And I also feel like it does tie into the schooling, especially. Definitely our parents and whoever our caretakers were, but when you talk about the school, we were there most of the day and for years and years and years, and we're pretty much told not to talk out of turn. We're pretty much told like this is what matters, these subjects, sitting still. I know me, I used to get in trouble all the time for laughing in class and talking to my friends. They'd make me sit outside of class. And it's like over time, it's like, wow. Like when I just said that, I'm like, I was punished for just being me and having fun. So it's like you get the respect of it. But at the same time, it's like to tell a child that they're in trouble because they're laughing. Like I couldn't control my laughter, first of all. But it's just like, And also, when you think about creativity and stuff, we're pretty much told like, okay, that's the least important thing, because we don't spend much time in art class and really expressing ourselves in ways that are natural to us, unless it's like kindergarten. We're more hands-on, we're coloring more, we're really interacting with each other more and ourselves and the teacher. Over time, the classrooms get more plain. It's less creativity, less recess, less gym time and art and the things that really matter. Like the things that really pour into us in ways that we need. Because our creativity is part of our life force. Like we have to be creative to feel alive. And when you talk about also the curiosity that's stripped from us, I went to the library months ago, and I actually seen one of my elementary school teachers, and I'm like, you look so familiar. And when she told me the school that she taught at and what grade, I was like, wow, my 3rd grade elementary teacher I had seen face to face. And it made me think of like, what do I remember from that time? I literally only remember making a loaf of bread from scratch on Easter, decorating it with icing, and putting sprinkles on it and just little candies all over it. And then as well as, there was a huge creek in the back of the school in the woods, and we had went out there in boots and like stuff we could get wet, and we were looking at microorganisms, literally collecting them so we could go look at them under the microscope. And we ate lunch. It was so fun. And I'm like, wow, that's what I remember from elementary school. And recess. Like, I remember the playground perfectly. Other than that, I don't remember nothing else. Of course, you talk about like math, certain things, of course. But I'm talking about memorable moments. So she was blown away. She literally looked so stuck. She was just like, wow. And she had retired, so it just brought that awareness to her, like, wow. Like, you could, like, I could pick up on the energy. It's so, like, all these years she put into that, and it's like, you want to create a memorable environment for your children, or for the children you're teaching, and it's not to say your presence isn't memorable, but when you talk about actual experiences that children need to have, play, creativity, things that open their mind, none, really. So she was just blown away. She didn't say nothing after that. I could just tell she was just like, wow, all these years I put in, and what did I do? And it's not to say her, like I said, her impact wasn't important and memorable. It's just like, when we're doing something, especially when you talk about when you love children or people and you want to be a part of that because, you know, it's important to you to pour into those children and, you know, adults if you're in the medical field and things. It can be like, damn, what did I really contribute, you know? So yeah, she ended up following me on Instagram and YouTube. So she might see this, so I'll just say hi. You're beautiful, you're amazing. Yes, nothing has been ever in vain. It's just the awareness around these things that is so important. So yeah, that's why I don't agree with the public school system at all, because I'm like, I really want my children to explore, to get excited about learning, to go outside and learn about the bugs and the animals and the grass, the plants, the trees, and to really immerse themselves in that learning environment, to be hands-on and to keep their curiosity alive. And then also creativity, like, you know, my daughter loves drawing and painting and just really being creative. So it's very important to me to continue to allow her to do that, to have space to do that. So yeah, and then from my experience, I'm like, nah, from what I remember, nah, I just prefer to keep them outside of that. I want to be able to travel and just really enjoy each other in life. And then also to be a part of their learning experience, because I feel like that's so important. Because when you're witnessing your children learn and get excited and just really, enjoy what they're doing, it also brings this sense of enjoyment to me and excitement for me. And I feel like it does pour into my inner child who didn't really have that type of environment. So I recently had read something. It's like, when you have a child, you're not only healing forward, but you're also healing backwards. And I'm like, wow. Because you really are fulfilling this side of you that never got to experience these things. And like when you talk about play and creativity, and just joy, really. Like when I'm like running with my kids and just playing outside and embracing that side of me, it is just like exhilarating. I feel so alive and it's so much fun. And I'm like, wow, you know, these are the little friends that I always needed. These are the experience I always needed, but I didn't have. So yes, go outside and play. Okay? Laugh. It's okay to laugh and to just take a break from whatever you're processing, whatever you're going through. Step back and go do something enjoyable that you love. Because oftentimes, like I said, we get so stuck in this cycle of just like being in pain, and we just want, like, honest, and then I'm stuttering, but also it's like when we're wounded or we're just coming from this lower frequency, I'll say, we like want people to know we're in pain. It's like we're seeking some type of attention and love, and it's like, okay, you know your experience better than anybody. You're in pain, and it's okay. Step back. Try not to seek validation. Support is great always. You know, go to therapy, talk to people you love or that love you and care about you. But also, if you find yourself in this state for like hours and hours, step back, go do something you like, or do something new. Because, from my experience, the best way the way that I got out of depression is I was like, you know what? I have to go to yoga. I'm like, this is something I've always wanted to do. And it's like intuitively, I was like, it's like I just knew I had to go. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know I was going to feel so whole again. And honestly, like for the first time, like what yoga did for me is what it does is it connects your physical with your spiritual, your emotional, your mental bodies, and you just feel this lightness, this freeing feeling. And I haven't mentioned this on the podcast, but I have wrote about it. But I was in child's pose, and I literally just cried and cried and cried. And for the first time, like, I didn't care who was looking at me, who was around me. It was all about me. I felt inside my body for the first time, and what I really feel like ever. But in that moment, being so depressed, which is really suppression of emotions, and your needs, suppressing your needs, I was so dissociated. I literally was walking around numb. I felt like I was behind this TV screen. Like I felt like my head was a TV screen, and I was looking like almost like a little alien was in my body, and I was looking out, and nothing felt good. I just felt like I couldn't smile. I couldn't fake it if I tried. And I got to the point where I was like, I really wanted to feel again. Excuse me. And hold on one moment. I was obsessing over the idea of going in my kitchen and grabbing a knife and cutting my wrists, because I was like, I felt like it would bring me relief. I felt like that's what I needed to feel my body again, to just feel complete. And what I did was I just affirmed to myself over and over and over again. I'm like, this is not who I am. This is not who I am. And I kept saying that. And then I just had a spark. I'm like, I got to do something new. I got to change up my routine. And yoga popped up, and I'm like, I'm going to yoga tomorrow, like at all costs. And that's what I did. And, it completely changed everything for me. At the time I was at the YMCA, so it was easy to sign up for a yoga class. But there's yoga classes everywhere. So yeah, I definitely encourage you to go to yoga. If you're feeling dissociated, if you're feeling numb, whatever it is emotionally, it really helps ground you into your body again and into earth, and to just feeling better. That's why I decided to get a yoga certification, because I am very passionate about the benefits of it. And to be able to share that with people is important to me, because what I realized along my path is that it's not just physical. It's spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. It's all of those bodies together. Because I used to go to the gym 3 days a week, or not 3 days a week, like 6 days a week for 3 hours at a time, because I was obsessed with making sure I was healthy physically. But when my mental was scattered, when I was cycling about, why am I depressed? Why am I depressed? And just everything else. Like, too focused on the relationship I was in and what he was doing, where he was going. A deep abandonment wound, which shined its light. And yes, I wasn't focused on myself at all. I just entered that depressive phase, and I just realized that it's not what I thought it was when it comes to health. Yes, physical health is important, but if you're not healthy mentally and emotionally, then the physical health, it's not as fulfilling. It's not as, you don't feel as light, because you can go to the gym all day, baby, but if your mental and emotional health is not well, you'll still feel tense and tight and irritable and just heavy. So once I realized that, and I started really incorporating all those aspects of health, then that's when the spiritual health, I started recognizing the importance of spiritual health. Because I really feel like when you talk about the systems in place and the programming that's been going on for so long, we've really believed that emotional health isn't important, mental health isn't important, and yeah, of course, spiritual health, but also physical. Because when you're thinking about the fast food industries and all these extra potato chip brands and the candy that they're coming out with and all this stuff, it's like, if you really cared about the people, you would shine light on how unhealthy sugar is, how unhealthy all these chemicals are, because really that's what gets us to the hospitals. It's all connected. I know I'm kind of going on a different route in a way, and it's still connected, but yeah, it's all a part of why the medical system is still here. Okay, because the medical system wouldn't be possible if the chemicals weren't in our food and the sugar. So they want to give you medicine to suppress the symptoms. It's not a cure. It's literally just treating the symptom, which weakens the immune system. Because really, our bodies naturally heal itself. And when you kind of halt the healing with medicine and more chemicals, you're not allowing the body to go through that whole process and build its immune system up. For me, and what I've recognized with my tribe is like when we got away from medicine and we allowed our body to go through the natural healing process, when we have, like, say, a stuffy nose or some sinus things going on or a cough, it don't last long. It lasts maybe a day. The cough is a little different, but when you talk about how just feeling ill, it doesn't last long. And when I used to take medicine and believed that was the right route, my immune system was so weak. Like, even when I would be off medicine, it would take me weeks to get through some illness. So, yeah, when you think about the medical system, the greed in that, all this money for treatments and surgeries and just medical interventions, if you really cared about the people, then there wouldn't even be a lot of sugar out there. Like, really, like, when you think about it, like, it would be different. There wouldn't be as many candy options and fast foods and all that stuff. And if there was, you'd still be shining light on the harmful effects of it. Cigarettes being legal, like, literally causing lung cancer and who knows what else. Cancer of all kinds. Vapes. Alcohol. Alcohol is literally poison too, but it's normalized. Marijuana. Like, it was supposed to be used, I'll say, like, in ancient times, or, just way far, like hundreds of years ago. It was used to get closer to spirit. Now it's abused. Now we just using marijuana to become numb and just feel better because we're out here overworking, overstressing. It's not used the same. And then it's legal in many states now. So, yeah, the systems in place don't care about you. All right? They don't. That's why holistic healing is so important. Holistic remedies, just natural ways of being. Because before medicine and before all this other stuff, we were living off the land. That is what's natural for us. Growing food, having healthier options, exercise naturally. Like, when I look at the state of humanity, and I'll just say the United States because that's what I'm familiar with, the obesity rates are skyrocketed. Like, and for me, when I see someone that's, and it's no judgment at all, it's just the awareness of it. When I see someone that seems to be, like I'll say, like heavier, I can tell for me, it's either emotional eating, they're going through a lot mentally, that's why they're emotional eating, lack of exercise, because they don't know the importance of that, and it's just kind of like giving up, you know, on yourself. Also, I had saw something that with someone that was heavier set, and they said that the reason why they wanted to be heavy was to cover up. They felt like it was like a shield, that people wouldn't see them because they were very insecure, and yeah, they didn't want to be like the center of attention. What they didn't realize is like they kind of were in a way, because of how they looked. So yeah, what I feel like is happening is the value of health, mental health, emotional, spiritual, physical. People are realizing that it's very valuable and it's so important, because when we're not aware of our emotional health and all the aspects of health, and we're going out here and we're suppressing our needs to have these jobs, and we're in this state of survival to provide, and you know, we're miserable at these places, over time you're gonna get burnt out. You're gonna experience burnout, and you could either choose to stay in that burnout and to become depressed and miserable, or you can choose to pave a new way for yourself and to have the courage to do that, and to know that when you listen to yourself, everything will align after that. You know, there may be challenges, there may be peaks, and there may be downs in the valley, but as long as you follow what feels good to you, you'll be taken care of. The divine will take care of you. People will come and support you. And everything will be all right in the end. Like, everything will be all right anyways. You have to know that. And to always, like, just a reminder to always find joy in what you're experiencing. You know, your circumstances should never define you. You can be upset about them, that's fine, but always be grateful too for what you have. Whether it be food, shelter, people, phone, bed, warmth, you know, even if you're on the street, there's still things to be grateful for, even though it's very unfortunate, but there's still so much to be grateful for. So, yeah, this is just a reminder to find beauty in the moments. Even when you're experiencing, you know, what they call like a downfall. It's really not even a downfall. It's just part of your experience. And when we use our lowest moments to inspire us to rise, to motivate us to do what we need to do to get out of these things and to never experience them again, then we take our power back. We own our power, and it'll never happen again. So, yes, that's all I'm going to share today because my laptop is dying. But I love you all, and, you know, take care of yourself at all costs. I just wrote about this too, and it's important to remember to just take a step back. All right? And I think I already said this, but take a step back. It's just a reminder. Just live a little. All right? Do something that makes you feel alive. Color, paint, dance, sing. You are not what you are experiencing. You are the being experiencing it, to get through it, to rise from it. So allow yourself the grace to feel joy, because everything you want is within you. Laugh, watch a funny movie, play with your kids if you got kids. Allow yourself space to feel alive again. All right? I love you all. Have a beautiful day.